show people that that's what you're there to do, and you're happy to have done it.
I guess it's just not in everybody as we get something out on the floor that's stopped the play. Not quite sure what that was. Well, you weren't much for celebrating after you knocked one down. You didn't have a little ritual, did you?
No, I wasn't, but I did like seeing other people do it. I think it's missing in today's game a little bit. There's not a lot of people out there with really big personalities, and I think the more of that we can see and get, it adds to the sport a lot.
Daniel Johnson. I don't know how big his personality is, but he's got his number. He's got 21 points on just 13 shots. But he was very modest and very humble when he was doing the interview. I don't know what that's like, me personally.
To be modest?
No. It would be false modesty. Jackson. Spins, gets to the rim. Shot was contested.
He has so many speeds, doesn't he? He just was yo-yoing his defense there.
Bartlett gets to the rim. He comes up short. Again, a good move, just couldn't get the finish. Abercrombie, bang at the three-point line. Cedric Jackson just spoon-fed him that one.
Thomas Abercrombie, 3 of 5 from behind the three-point line. When it comes out of his hand cleanly, it's got a very good chance of going in.
Herbert for 3. That's short. Abercrombie with the board. Abercrombie's got kind of a set shot at the three-point line.
It is, isn't it? There's not a lot of elevation in his jump shot, but it is a really nice follow-through at the end of it. He really extends his arm up as he should, gets a nice arc in the shot, and then has a really good snap of the wrist, which is a good sign of a good shooter.
Johnson gets it in. Diamond Simpson, 3 on the shot clock. A lot of contact down there, no call.
CJ's copped one in the face, I think, during that play there. As we see, New Zealand have taken this out to a 10-point lead. That is going to be very hard for Adelaide to reel in.
I think that might be his head. I don't think you should ask the question.
Yeah, CJ just copped one right in the face as Diamond Simpson was turning the corner.
No, your shoulder.
Simpson's asking what happened. CJ just the wrong height.
Right at shoulder-length height on the dip. You see both teams shooting at the same percentage now, both at 50.9 from the field.
Corletto for 3, that's automatic. Dylan Boucher doing the banging down there.
There's another guy you don't want to let just have us all day to line it up. He's done it for so many years with the Melbourne Tigers, and
Abercrombie fighting over the top of those screens. Johnson with the pull-up. That's long. Couple of bounces. Cedric Jackson with the rebound. Jackson splits. Finds Abercrombie the three-point line. Jackson wanted that one to go. He liked that pass.
What a lot of good teams, or what a lot of teams miss is someone that can constantly get into the gaps and finish, but also be able to find the shooters. He had a good option there of either Thomas Abercrombie or Daryl Corletto in the corner, so he had some nice choices, but to be able to get in there on a constant basis and create opportunities for your team is what a lot of I guess, the lesser teams are missing.
And that is the reason why New Zealand is just as good as they were last year, even in the absence of Kirk Penny. Great player. Simpson on the rolling drive to his right. Makes a tough shot look easy. Adelaide just keep hanging in there.
Real tough shot there by Johnson. He doesn't have a real explosive first step to get past him. He's just got such length when he extends. There's not too many guys that are as long as him in the league that can get up and block his shot.
Boucher checks out. Mika Vakona comes in, and the hits just keep on coming for New Zealand. They just roll them in, don't they?
They do. There's no let up at all with these guys. I'd like to see Adelaide start going back down low to either Diamond Simpson, who's starting to hit his shots again as they do go down low, or get it in the hands of Johnson.
Down low, going left, can't get the roll. Warren for three. That's off the mark. That hit the 24-second shot clock, and so it's a violation. We'll be going the other way. Jackson gets it back. Corletto.
Oh, that's a dagger.
Over the top of Stephen Way. Just surprised him.
Tough shot, wasn't it? The clock was counting down to 5, and not too many options left for New Zealand. They'd run through their offense and got nothing out of it, but to just be able to pull up and knock down that shot.
That went over off the shoulder of Nathan Herbert. Darren Ing checks into the game for Nathan. Initially, the referee just pointed the wrong way. They got that one right. Timeout on the floor. Adelaide will try and talk about their comeback strategy as the Breakers have taken a commanding lead, 79-65. We'll be back.
Dodo's unlimited ADSL2 offer. No line rental bundling required. No shaping, no excess charges, and no limits. For only $39.90 per month, you get unlimited ADSL2 broadband 24/7. Free setup and a free modem. Call today on 13Dodo.
There's more to life under a Stratco Outback.
Welcome back. Marty Clark with his Adelaide 36ers up against New Zealand. I think that we have seen in Australia, if you haven't seen a whole lot of New Zealand, this is what they look like. They're deep and they're experienced. And you talk about those groups that have their core group together and have been together for a number of years. Of course, the Perth Wildcats, some people say, oh yeah, their core group is getting a little old, but New Zealand is the same. You know, Mika Vakona, Thomas Abercrombie. Pledger's been there a couple of years now. C.J. Bruton's been there for a number of years. They play like they've played together for a while.
They do. They've done such a great job of recruiting New Zealand. I know early on in their existence in the NBL, it was tough to get players to go over there and play, but as a club, they do an excellent job of recruiting and getting the right style, the right fit for their team to come into the team. And that's why they've been successful, keeping that nucleus together, but also bringing in a couple of new guys each year that fit into their system very well. And Perth have also done a good job of that as well.
Yeah, they have, haven't they? New Zealand has done a great job at addressing Darren Ing on the three-point line. Way with the drive past Thomas Abercrombie. Jackson has no trouble with that pressure. Finds Abercrombie standing on the three-point line. He delivers another nice pass. Thomas Abercrombie must love having Cedric Jackson there more than anybody.
Oh, all the shooters would have to love playing with Cedric Jackson, just getting in, finding him wide open. He had plenty of time to spot that up. Takes his tally to 17 on 7 and 12 shooting. As we see that gear we were talking about with New Zealand, they have lifted that gear up. They've got some steals and are finishing off at an easy rate at the other end and extended their lead out to 17 very quickly in this quarter.
And we got an illegal screen coming the other way. And the nightmare continues for Adelaide as New Zealand have struck, and they have struck quickly.
It's no mistake that these couple of teams at the top of the ladder and have been there for a while are probably the two best run from a management perspective as well, right the way through the club. They are run exceptionally well.
Lacona spins, gets to the rim. Missed an easy one for him. Did all the good footwork. Wasn't able to get the finish. Warren showed you his quick acceleration to get to the front of the rim.
He's not scared to take it inside, is he? He's not the tallest of players going around the league, but he doesn't mind driving right in amongst the big fellas in there.
Jackson wants to back down the smaller Warren. Can't get it.
So I'm surprised more teams haven't attacked Adelaide at taking Chris Warren down low and backing him in. Oh, as we see Mika Vicona slam his head into the ground.
And we'll get another look at that. Jackson reaching behind, grabs the arm.
Ooh.
Yeah, he took a big hit. Oof, yeah.
There's going to be a few Panadol after the game, I would think, for Mika Vicona.
I mean, you just expect him to get up from anything. He's a warrior.
He is, isn't he? Gee.
Oh, man. That's on Vicona. That's his fifth.
Kind of not happy with that one. I think he may have been harshly dealt by that one.
I thought so too.
Diamond Simpson may have created that contact there as he was cutting through the key.
Yeah, I really don't see that one. Well, he takes a seat, and Dylan Boucher comes in for him. As we said, New Zealand are extremely deep as Stephen Way rattles one down. Boucher kicks it ahead to Abercrombie. New Zealand weather the storm of that extended pressure. Abercrombie.
Ooh. Just such explosion. I thought he was covered there from a defensive perspective, but he just able to get that explosive hop and then jump about 2 meters in the air.
They had everything covered but up. He went up and hung and shot a soft scoop shot.
Can you see Abercrombie going to the NBA at some stage in his career?
Yes, sir.
Abercrombie, 2 shots.
2 years ago? No way. I mean, he's athletic, but hell, everybody in the NBA is athletic.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. There's a lot of 6'6" athletic guys traveling around in the States, but what I think he's starting to display is a really good knowledge of the game, being able to shoot it consistently from outside is a big key as well. And they're the things that he's really had to work on to probably get himself to that next level and make himself an NBA prospect.
Way outside the three-point line. Andre Lamanis has seen enough, and he calls a timeout. We saw that last night in the Wollongong Sydney game, some quick timeouts and trying to really put a stop to those runs. And Adelaide have scored the last 7. Andre Lamanis was standing up before that shot even went down to call that timeout. So Andre Lamanis knows that a 10-point lead is nothing, especially with the likes of Darren Ing, Stephen Way, Everard Bartlett. Adelaide, one of the best teams in the league at the three-point line.
Yeah, they are. They've done a good job. The last couple of plays are coming down, executing their offense. Stevie Way's been open. They've got him the ball, and he's started to connect on some of his shots there. He's now 5 of 8, taking his tally to 12 points after not really giving us much offensively for the rest of the game.
So New Zealand, with that timeout, as I mentioned, Adelaide scored the last 12. Stephen Way on 12 points after knocking that three-point shot down. So Adelaide have Stephen Way now in double figures. Chris Warren with 10. Daniel Johnson has 21. He's slowed down a bit here in the second half. Has only picked up 4. And Diamond Simpson with 17 points and 11 rebounds. And he's quietly gone about his business in a workmanlike fashion.
Yeah, they have. Both teams have got 4 guys in double figures. I think the main difference tonight between the two teams is the turnovers that Adelaide have been a lot more costly, and we're able to get New Zealand on that little roll in the third, little roll in the fourth that was able to get them that 10, 15-point buffer.
New Zealand just break the pressure. Oh, a tremendous poise. C.J. Bruton letting you know he's been contacted. Jackson at the three-point line. That's long. Boucher, but C.J. can't run it down. Jackson had a good look at that three-point shot.
He did, and that's where big guys, when they do close out onto a shooter, should be closing out with a hand up. We saw Diamond Simpson close out there. He had his hands down by his knees. That is a green light for any shooter when they catch the ball. The defender closes out with their hands by their knees.
Warren. Simpson, the high low to Daniel Johnson. That's 3 seconds. We've seen a few of those calls tonight. Haven't seen many 3-second calls this year.
You don't see many 3-second calls any time. And to see a couple in one game is a little bit weird. We've seen players in the past camp in the keyway for 6-7 seconds.
Extra pass goes to Warren in the corner. Ooh, that would have been a big one.
Good extra pass there by Stevie Way, although he's just hit a couple of shots. Thomas Abercrombie clearly had him covered. We see a nice little pass there by Thomas Abercrombie to Gary Wilkinson for the easy bucket.
Missed opportunity for Adelaide. They had a good look at that three-point shot. Comes up short, and then New Zealand just run it down there for an easy transition basket and pretty much a 5-point swing, just like that.
And
the game
that's
blows
good
out
teams,
again.
isn't it? The good teams are able to create some easy opportunities for themselves. They get a good stop at the other end, run it down as quick as they can, and they've got a 3-on-1 there.
Yeah, that's about as easy as you're going to get. And big men running the floor. You know, Daniel Johnson gets a lot of baskets like that. He did in the first half, running the floor, getting rewarded, throwing it up in the air, and he does all the rest. And New Zealand, because they have so much depth, keep those fresh people coming in. And they all are on the same page, too. They throw that extra pass. They set that extra screen. They go to the boards hard. Yeah, very impressive.
They are. They're executing extremely well. But you have to reward the big guys. When they're willing to run the floor, if you don't reward them, they will stop running.
Yeah, they'll stop rebounding. They'll stop screening. And one of those guys that I played with the Sydney Kings, Mark Ridlin, he watches all the games. And I must say, out of all the players I've ever played with, he threw an outlet pass with you moving forward better than anybody ever played with. And you would know what that's like when you get hit on the move, going in the right direction. It makes a world of difference.
I think Dean Utoff was very good at that as well. He used to find Darren Lucas extremely well running the lanes, and Darren Lucas used to pick up a good 8 or 10 points just off Utoff getting the ball at one end and throwing it to him at the other for a touchdown.
Darren Lucas was another guy that was a nightmare to guard. He never stopped moving. I mean, he couldn't handle a ball, couldn't shoot, but boy, he never gave up on anything. And he never stopped moving.
You look at a lot of good scorers that have played in the league, and Andrew Gay's obviously one of the best. Why he was so good is that he did never stop moving, and every time he had the ball he wanted to score, every time he didn't have the ball he wanted to score. So you just cannot relax on those sort of players, and they make you work for the full 40 minutes of the game.
New Zealand keeping it in different hands. There's a mismatch, and Abercrombie goes to the line. He wasn't even trying. He was over the rim.
He was, wasn't he? He just dawdles into the keyway, takes a nice little jump, and
Wilkinson's got 20. And that had to be the quietest 20 points I've seen all year.
He's just slowly gone about his business, hasn't he? He's got 8 of 10 from the field, 1 of 3 from the three-point line.
That'll get it done. 3 for 3 from the foul line. Abercrombie got 22 on 8 of 13 shooting. New Zealand shooting it at 52%. Adelaide again shooting the ball well from the field. And this is why teams don't take the 36ers light. Simpson, who leads the league in field goal percentage at 59%, up in the air. Simpson with a block.
Nice block there, and I don't mind that. Given a physical presence, making someone earn that 2 points. He's come in hard.
Yeah, the crowd just watching the replay up on the screen. They like that effort.
And other than the body contact upstairs, it was pretty clean. He did a real nice effort there and a really good seal at the offensive end. He had to take his player in, do a little spin and just seal under the bucket. It's a real nice move.
Yeah. Wilkinson with this one will be equal top scorer with Abercrombie. And he lets the young fella take the limelight as he misses one. Bartley with a long 3. That's off the mark. Wilkinson with the board gets it to CJ.
CJ knows there's foul trouble here. He's been one of the best through his career at recognising that fact and getting himself to the line. Nice smart move hanging on and drawing the foul.
And CJ's got double figures. He's been to the line twice. Perfect 2 for 2. I'll give you played against his dad, Cal Bruton. CJ, of course, is Cal Bruton Jr. Who handles the ball better, his dad or CJ?
I only caught Cal late in his career, so it's hard for me to make a call because everyone I speak to that played with or against Cal when he came out said that he was just phenomenal. And I didn't really see enough of Cal in those early days to be able to make comment. I've seen all of CJ's career, and he obviously handles the ball well, but it's hard without seeing Cal early in his career to make that judgment.
Well, all the older guys, they do not hesitate, and they've seen CJ play as well. All the guys that have played, and Al Green, they do not hesitate and say his father, which is something because they've got tremendous respect for CJ. But boy, that's basketball royalty, that family.
It is indeed, isn't it? They've had some good players come through that family for sure.
No doubt. And speaking of basketball